and welcome to this month's edition of In Focus with Miami Children's Initiative. I am your host, LaTousha Daniels, President and CEO of the Miami Children's Initiative, and I want you to know I am over the top with our guest today because he is a fellow lion. I'll get back to that a little bit later. But I want you to know that we're so happy to continue this series of In Focus, where we get a moment to highlight those that we see in and around doing great work in our community, but sometimes we just don't know them. We know the work that they've done, but this is our moment to get in focus, to find out who they are. And it is my distinct pleasure today to have on our little set here at Miami Children's Initiative none other than State Representative Mr. Christopher Benjamin. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So, Mr. Benjamin, I have to go ahead, come right off the cuff and admit that it's my pleasure to have you because you are a fellow Florida Memorial University Lion.
Go Lions.
Go Lions. And I see that you are most certainly wearing the beautiful colors of our university, to which we walk the campus at the same time together.
Absolutely.
And so it's always an honor to see a lion rise to the occasion. And it's a pleasure to have you here. So how you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. And it's great to be here. And it was great to be at Florida Memorial and learn some of the beginnings of leadership.
Yes, yes, yes. So In Focus is our moment to find out who Christopher Benjamin is. So let's start all the way back. Where were you born?
I was born in Hollywood, Florida, in Broward County.
So you're a South Florida native?
Native, yes.
And so high school?
Pembroke Pines at MacArthur.
You know, I never knew of Pembroke Pines until like the 90s, right? I didn't even know that it existed. And at that time,
you never came across
still,
the line, huh?
Yeah, I never came across the line. The benefit of Liberty City living.
Same thing. I barely ever came across the line.
Gotcha. So, and so after attending school in Broward County, what was your next step?
I joined the U.S. Army.
So you are, and we thank you for your service, sir. And so we appreciate that. What was that like going through that? Where were you stationed and all that kind of stuff?
It was pretty decent. I took a position in the Med Corps. So I started off as a dental specialist, and then I did some cross training for medic and other health related MOSs. And I was stationed in Fort Meade, Maryland.
Okay.
So you had 15 minutes south was DC, 15 minutes north was Baltimore. So it was a pretty good duty station.
So was it, we won't talk about the snow and all of that, but was that a major transition for you from South Florida to that Maryland area?
Oh man, it was the first time I got to see snow. So my first year there and it snowed, of course, because it snows every year. It was my first year. First time ever seeing snow. And matter of fact, my friends, they were like, "Man, you better get out of that snow before you catch pneumonia." I was doing, but that lasted all for about maybe 2 weeks. After that, the snow sucks.
Right, you were like, "Okay, I'm over it."
Yes.
The honeymoon is over. I got all the honey out this moon.
Yes, snow sucks.
Yeah, so you had to learn how to drive in it. Where you were used to maybe slick water, you had to get to slick
black ice. Yeah, black ice.
Yeah.
Coming out the dorms on the steps and falling for no reason.
I have seen some things on like America Home Funniest videos, watching people trying to shovel snow or just walk to the mailbox is just a
having to scrape your windshield from the snow and ice and having to start your vehicle before you actually get in there for a while. It was all new experiences. And I like being a Floridian.
You like being a Floridian. All right, so after how long did you serve?
3 years.
3 years. So after you finished, what brought you back?
I came back home and I directly went into furthering my education. So I registered at Florida Memorial, and that was August 1994.
August 1994.
Yeah.
Boy, that was right about the time I was walking. I think I came in the spring, so like 95. So, wow, amazing. Okay, and so at Florida Memorial, what was your major? at Florida Memorial?
I started off in biology because the intent was to stay close to home, go to Florida Memorial for about a year, then transfer to FAM's nursing program.
Because I'm seeing this medical track, because
Yeah.
you did the medic track there in the Army. Okay.
Yeah. And so after a couple of science courses at Florida Memorial, I learned that science and math was not my thing.
Okay.
And so, you know, a little soul searching and then determine, you know, what were my God-given gifts and how could I use them in furtherance of myself and my community.
I really think that's what college is for. I remember being embarrassed by a very good family friend. I said, I am going to college to become smart. And they looked at me and they were like, no, you're not. That is not what college is for. College is really to help you home into who you are destined to be.
Yeah.
And so Florida Memorial provided you that platform and the ability to do that.
Yeah, it did. It really did. It was the place where I did come to really develop who I was and what I wanted to do in life. And they gave me the tools and the platforms to be able to begin to use those tools.
You know, Christopher, I must say that, again, I probably have a different perspective or a different view, but I think you always stood out among students. I think you always demonstrated and walked with a level of leadership and charisma. But it was a quiet charisma. It was a balanced charisma. You know, that I think about it, it was almost a leading from behind, but you were still standing out. So talk to us a little bit. Would you say that you are more of an introvert, extrovert, or?
I'm an introverted extrovert. I have no problems being by myself and being alone. But what I do forces me to be outgoing, and so I manage that as well.
So let's fast forward. We're a graduate of Florida Memorial in
1998.
of your area.
Oh, political science. I switched.
Yes, you switched over to political
Yes, I did.
science. But now you sit also as an attorney. How did we get to law school?
Being in political science, I wanted to see what that all entailed, and so at Florida Memorial, I applied because I had my what do they call that when you have your little job on campus?
Work study.
I had my work study with career development, and so I saw all the things that were coming in, all the job postings and internship postings. So I saw an internship posting coming out of the governor's office and out of the Congressional Black Caucus's internship program. So I applied for them both. Because I was political science, I wanted to see what they entailed, and I was awarded both of them. Then I chose to go with the CBC's internship.
And CBC, again, the Congressional
Black
Caucus.
Caucus.
Would you explain to those of us who may not necessarily understand the whole role and purpose of the National Black Caucus? Could you share with us some of the missions and goals and thought processes behind the caucus?
In terms of the internship, it was to develop new leaders who wanted to go into the political arena and wanted to, for me, like me, going into political career meant that I was trying to change our community for the better through the use of law. And so they were there, that program, that internship program, it was young actually at the time that I was attending it. It was designed to develop next level leadership in the youth.
You know, and I think, and this is LaTousha Daniels saying this, that has to be a part of the fabric of who we are as it relates to legislative relations, as it relates to the next leaders. We always have to be developing legacies and not dying in offices.
Absolutely.
I said it, you didn't say it. If you got a problem, you guys come talk to me. I just think we have to posture and engage youth to a point that we are raising up the next leaders, because other political formations are doing it to ensure that there is legacy there.
I agree, and I was definitely one of the proponents of term limits in terms of term limits being in our community, because oftentimes when I was coming through, you did experience that leaders stayed in office until they died out, and then there was a power vacuum as to who was going to lead in that position next. And so term limits seem like a good idea until you get into office. And you understand that some of the nuances that people don't really talk about, such as seniority, and how seniority plays a place in politics when you actually have the office.
And relationships that
you establish. And the fact that legislative change takes so long to actually happen. Something that you may push in your first year as a legislator, you may not see coming to fruition until your eighth, and then you're out.
Yes, yes.
So seniority actually matters in political position in terms of imagine if we lost Frederica Wilson now, the person who replaces her is now a freshman in Congress.
Yes.
You're getting the bottom level assignments, you got to work your way back through seniority to get the type of power that we have now with a Frederica Wilson who's been there for a while and who's been able to do amazing things. She has seniority.
Yes.
In a re-election, we lose that seniority in that position. I don't think people think about that and what that actually means. And so
it's a balance to that. And that's why we have to have people like you to help. Again, that's why, I have my opinion. But of course, bringing education and experience to that opinion surely frames how we look at things better. So fast forward, we've now been an intern with the Congressional Black Caucus.
Congresswoman, at the time, I had the internship with the Congresswoman Meeks at the time.
Okay,
yes,
all right, Congresswoman Meeks, and we salute her.
Yes,
we salute
absolutely,
that
absolutely.
trailblazer at the state, and then all the way to D.C.
All the way to D.C.
Her.
The internship left me with a lot of confidence and solidified that that's what I wanted to do.
So you got the bug. You got a chance to see how your voice could matter.
Yes.
And what would you say to young people who are out here watching, as we'll show this to our high school and our middle school program? How do they find ways to express their voice?
I think you do what you love, and Steve Harvey said it too. Do what you're good at, and because I believe if you do what you're good at, you're going to naturally excel at it, and hopefully you have a passion for what you're good at, and that's what I ended up doing. I ended up going along the lines of what I was good at, what God gave me a talent for.
Awesome. So we go through congressional. How do we become a lawyer? What happened? Where do we go to law school? Because we're a lawyer.
I'm telling you that internship was so impactful. Most of the legislative aides have a JD. So I went to law school because I thought that getting an in-depth understanding of the law would help me be a better future lawmaker.
Do you think it's beneficial if you're seeking political office that you do go that path?
It's been beneficial for me. It has done what I thought it would do. It helped me have a better understanding of legal analysis. I don't need someone to tell me what this is supposed to mean. I can do it for myself. Although we do have great A's and capable people, I'm able to argue from the floor, off the cuff, because I understand how to analyze a piece of law.
I think it's important because, of course, this millennial and Generation Zers, right? They feel like I got a voice. They get motivated by a cause and then sometimes get frustrated in the process of that. But hearing you say also in this framing, pairing yourself with those who've done it before.
Absolutely.
That you find your voice, but also getting the proper training.
Absolutely.
Also brings credence to how you're able to navigate.
Absolutely. I think that I was absolutely prepared for the position that I have now, which made me stand out in my first year. It's because I was truly prepared for it. I trained myself to be able to hold the position.
Got it. And so now, where did we go to law school?
St. Thomas University.
St. Thomas. So you went right across the street.
Right across the street.
I
didn't go far.
You didn't go far. You went right across the street.
No.
Okay, so at St. Thomas, what was your area of specialty?
I didn't take an area of specialty. I did what they call the bar track. You did the courses that you knew that were going to be tested on the bar, because the point was to pass the bar. For me, the point was to pass the bar.
Okay.
And I really didn't go to law school to practice law. I went for what I said, to get a better understanding of how the law is and how to analyze the law.
So you're not saying it, but you knew coming out of that internship, I'm going to sit in this seat.
Yes.
You knew that. All right, so let me do what I need to do, but at the end of the day, I'm going to sit. And look, amazingly, by the grace of God,
God is good.
You put your mind to a focus, you set a goal, and here you sit as state representative.
Yeah.
Now, I do want to celebrate your partner in life who walked along with you in your path, and so we want to most certainly acknowledge the fact that you are an outstanding father. And within the last year, I would say, you actually you encountered death in your.
Yes.
Won't you share a little bit about your partner who walked with you and then her transition? As your campaign consultant and manager, you paired yourself with people to salute you. That's what I'm sharing.
Yes, and of course, my late wife was definitely a major component of that because I couldn't run unless she gave me the okay. So when I came to her with the idea that, I was like, I think it's time. I think that I've done everything that I need to do to be prepared, and I think I'm ready. And she agreed, and she supported it. Matter of fact, she organized and did my kickoff of the campaign. So she was, and during the campaign, when it came to me going out, because COVID came during the middle of my campaign.
Yes, it did. And that's why I wanted to note, and forgive me if it seemed off cuff, but the ability that you've walked, you set a goal, but then you partnered with people who could walk along with you.
Absolutely.
And that's important in your inner circle, I would think, that you walk with people who believe in your dreams and visions. And
Absolutely.
she seemed to believe in that. To me,
She
it
did.
was, yes.
She did. She believed in what I could do. And that was important for me. And she pitched in, and she was there physically, mentally, spiritually, so it was good to have her as a partner.
And I just have to say to the community and those who will watch this on YouTube and Facebook, I must salute you from a real personal and woman standpoint, to see you walk with your wife through that process and still stand as a father, stand as a husband. I just want to salute you publicly, because not everyone can do that, but you did, and with dignity and grace. I just thought it was something to note, something that you never know who people are being your secret cheerleaders and watching.
Right. Yeah.
But thank you for symbolizing to this community the strength of a father, the strength of a husband, and I must say it unequivocally, the strength of a Black man, that you stood tall and showed us how to love in hard places. And so I want to celebrate you on that.
Thank you.
And so walking through that place, walking through the campaign, you come out on top. Tell me about the night that you hear that you have won your seat. How did you feel?
I was elated, completely elated. It was a culmination of 20 years of preparation that came to a fruition, and all the work that you do behind the scenes in your community. This was affirmation from my community that we see you, we acknowledge you,
Yes.
and we want you in that position.
Yes. So what has it been like being a state? Was it what you thought it was going to be?
I get this question all the time, and for the most part, in terms of what we do as state representatives, taking in the law, and all the experience I have from the practice of law, from my studies, it came to me in those moments. It served me in those moments.
So talk to our high school and middle school students who are watching. What does it mean to be a state representative? What is it exactly that you're doing?
And actually, my son put this the best when he changed his major from engineering over to political science. He was like, "Dad, I never understood how much law controls our very lives." And see, I understood that when I changed my major, that the law has such an impact on our daily lives that it had to be the key in which we change people's lives, where we change the quality of life. And so that's why I chose it. And you see that come to life in Tallahassee. You see that it's the extra politics that you may not always be
Oh, you went in it
aware
for
of.
the money, right? That's exactly what, because all of this money you get paid.
Right. These tens of thousands.
These millions of dollars, right? I think
Right.
people need to know that our state representatives, if you don't know it, really are doing labors of love.
And they say it's a part-time position, but it is really not. It's really not. It's really not. But it is a labor of love. It really is a labor of love. It is in a lot of ways what I hoped it would be, in terms of the potential to change and to effectuate change. How that happens and the process by which it happens isn't always the greatest, but it's the greatest tool I think we have.
Wonderful. All right. So you haven't. So in your first year, you step on. Listen, I'm sorry. I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I see you walking down. I see you walking in the Capitol.
Yeah.
You literally put that on Facebook, which I thought was amazing. I was like, all right, walk heavy, young man.
Yeah.
So in walking those halls, your first year now, you're feeling good. I see the level of confidence. There are some major things that's happening in this current state legislation.
Yeah, it was.
One of the things is we are centered around and focused on children is the new age of direct filing children. And for those, you just have to educate us on direct filing. We have just found out that now the new age that a child can be sent to prison,
Can be arrested.
is age 7. Right. Let that sink in, guys. Age 7. Talk to us about what that is. I know that's a part of some things that you're passionate about in fighting in Tallahassee. Share with our community what that's about and what is the intention and your focus.
Well, that actually came out of the criminal justice reform legislation that was passed during the last session, and it was a compromise. We went in wanting the age to be 13 or higher, and that whole issue of age and when a child could be arrested, it was funny because I had it happen to me early on in my career when I was at the public defender's office. We would talk about the age that these kids were being charged with crimes and whether they were actually able to form the legal requirements to be considered a criminal. And now to be in a position in legislature to be going over that issue again, to be able to make a change with regards to that, and to be able to make a change with that. So we wanted 13. The age 7 became a compromise between what we wanted. And to be honest, I love the fact that we were able to compromise. I don't like that particular part of the criminal justice compromise because I just think we're talking about a 3rd grader. What we're saying is that we believe that an elementary child can commit a battery, that they can commit an assault, that they could commit murder, that they can form the mental and physical requisites to commit crime. And it's just something I never believed in.
And so here we sit, Miami Children's Initiative, a cradle college to career concept that we are trying to impact children from the cradle all the way through their lives. That is deeply impactful to me because we see them on a day-to-day basis. And we see those Black children, those brown children in our Liberty City community who sometimes can act out. But we understand that acting out is often a reflection of the poverty, the hunger,
all those outside things that
the cracks in the system.
And so what we're saying by saying 7, and I even kind of spoke to the Speaker of the House informally about it. At age 7, what we're saying is that a 3rd grader can be charged with a crime. I'm like, my child is a 3rd grader this year. I have a 3rd grader and a 4th grader. They have a bad day in school, they can be charged with a crime, which will follow them the rest of their lives.
Yes. And so I hope for those of you who don't realize the heaviness of these jobs, I hope and I feel very confident that we have a voice that will speak truth to power, and that will be a place of reckoning, if you will, on behalf of those citizens that you're charged with serving. I see the passion in your eyes. I hear the confidence in your voice. I'm glad you got your swag, you ready to go hit it. Yeah. And to know that you are a family man who's concerned about those who don't have voices for themselves.
Absolutely.
It leaves us with, to me, a wonderful opportunity to see. Is there anything as we wrap this up in this In Focus moment that maybe the community doesn't know? Do you sing? Do you dance? Do you rap? What is something about you that
I don't do any of that. I don't do any of that stuff. Although I like to dance and I definitely love hip hop. I come from I'm a mixed breed because I have a Southern American heritage, and then I have a Caribbean heritage as well, as my father is from St. Martin, which is from the French side of St. Martin, which is in the Caribbean, one of the Lesser Antilles Islands in the Caribbean. And so I love the Caribbean. I love that culture.
we won't talk about cooking. We won't talk about food.
I've been around it since I was 14 is when I went to go live with my father. And so I love that culture. And I love the Southern culture because that's my maternal grandmother and all the things that she did and all the things that she taught me. So I'm big on genealogy. That's probably one of my biggest hobbies in gardening because that's what my grandma taught me to garden.
Okay, all right. So we got a green thumb who has a little bit of Southern hospitality and West and Caribbean spice. That's what we'll say. Well, Representative Benjamin, we thank you. We salute you. Go Lions. We're so happy you have those who are rallying with you and wanting to see you continue to do great things. To you who are watching, again, we have had the pleasure of interviewing State Representative Christopher Benjamin. Representative Benjamin, if your constituents wanted to reach out to you, if there was any information, questions they have, how do they contact you? You
can reach me at my email, cbenjamin@myfloridastaterep.com. That's myflstaterep.com, cbenjamin.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for joining us for this edition of Miami Children's Initiative In Focus. We look forward to seeing you soon.